Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Perky-Pet podcast series. Today's show is the second of 3 discussions on the hummingbird. Special thanks to Perky-Pet for bringing this series to you. To learn more about Perky-Pet, please visit their website at www.perkypet.com. I'm Susan Matson, and on behalf of Perky-Pet, I'd like to introduce Dr. Ross Hawkins to our show. Ross is the founder and director of the Hummingbird Society, which was created to educate people about the hummingbirds and protect these birds from extinction. During today's conversation, Ross will touch on their massive appetite and how their mode of flight plays such a critical role. Ross, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Susan.
So I have to ask, why is mode of flight so important?
Well, as most people know who've seen a hummingbird, they hover. And this is ability which is unique to the hummingbird. Other birds fly with a powerful downstroke to provide lift. The upstroke doesn't. Hummingbirds are quite different. They have powerful forward and backward strokes. Each provides lift and power. Wings are like paddles because the wrist and elbow joints are fused, and in effect, they have very long hands. If you picture holding a small electric fan pointed down at such a high velocity that it can support the weight of the fan, you have a hummingbird. A specialized part of their brain takes the visual information from their eyes and translates it into muscle movement that lets them maintain a perfect hovering position, and no other bird can do that. Now, hummingbirds fly like helicopters with 2 differences. The helicopter blades rotate continuously, while the hummingbird's wings go back and forth, reversing the wing's angle with each move. And the helicopter uses aviation fuel, but the hummingbird uses sugar from nectar. And they both use incredible amounts of energy just to stand still. What do I mean by incredible? For the hummingbird, it means visiting 1,000 to 2,000 blossoms a day, in which they take in double their weight in nectar. And that's why feeders can be so effective. One feeder is like having a yard full of flowers as far as the hummingbird is concerned.
So if you have one feeder or you have a half a dozen feeders, how should we place them in our yard for them to be most effective for the hummingbirds?
Well, I think the first consideration is that most feeders should be positioned where you can see them. That's part of the joy of feeding hummingbirds.
Absolutely.
Feeders should always be placed out of the reach of cats, if there are any in your area. That means 4 feet or higher. Feeders placed in the shade won't have to be cleaned and refilled as often. At our home, we currently have 7 feeders. 2 are window-mounted and 5 are glass feeders. The Perky-Pet 8-ounce pinch waist feeder has always been popular with both hummingbirds and the people who feed them. There's also a 16-ounce version if you have a lot of hummers. You can also look at the Oasis model, which we have used from time to time. Window-mounted feeders, like the Perky-Pet Garden Song, make it possible to have a feeder only a few feet from your breakfast table, in effect turning your home into a bird and breakfast. Away from the windows, we hang our feeders in low tree limbs, on shepherd hooks, and from the edge of our pergola.
Thank you so much, Ross, for that explanation. I'm not sure I actually realized how much the hovering was a unique trait to the hummingbird. I knew that it was. I just didn't know they and the helicopter are pretty much the only ones that hover. So, Ross, do you have any stories that may suggest that hummingbirds do come back and are persistent? Maybe they don't necessarily move from a feeding source and keep going.
Oh, I have so many illustrations of that, Susan. People tell me regularly that when their hummingbird feeder is empty, the hummingbird will come up to the window, perhaps while the person is sitting in front of their laptop or maybe washing dishes, and will stare at them through the window as if to say, "Hey you, the feeder needs taken care of." Just last week, several people told me that their feeders take it one step further and actually come up to the window and tap on it with their beak. Now, I thought both of those were pretty amazing, but the winner is a story of a man named Jonah down in Ubatuba, Brazil, and he lives in a village where there are so few insects that nobody bothers to put screens on their doors or windows. Jonah has one hummingbird who knows that when the feeder is empty, he must fly into an open window, search for Jonah from room to room, and when he finds Jonah, hovers in front of his face and squeaks at him. That's a pretty smart hummingbird. And you know what the message is. You're neglecting your duties by not taking care of my feeder. I think that's pretty brilliant for a bird to learn that kind of behavior.
That sure is. For more information about hummingbirds or to learn about the Perky-Pet products you heard today, please visit www.perkypet.com. And to learn more about Ross and what he's doing with the Hummingbird Society, please visit www.hummingbirdssociety.com. Thanks for listening, and look for our final hummingbird conversation with Ross, which will spotlight the bird's territorial nature.